Well, some say a muffin is just a cupcake for breakfast. I say, so what? Check out my favorite version of these mini breakfast cakes in this week's Brittany's Bites. Well, today I get to make one of my favorite things, blueberry muffins. Technically, these are blueberry, sour cream, streusel muffins. I'll come up with a shortened name, but all of the things that I think make muffins great, blueberries are my favorite. It's National Muffin Day, so let's get started. All right, here in my stand mixer, I have 2 eggs ready to go. We're gonna beat them up until they're frothy with 1 cup of sugar. I have it already measured out here, ready to go. So we're gonna beat that up with also a ½ teaspoon of vanilla. Gonna daredevil and measure it in here again. A little extra, love vanilla, that's okay. So I'm gonna let that go. It's gonna get loud. We're gonna beat it up and then we're gonna add in a few other things. Okay, so if you can tell, it's really light and frothy right now. So I'm going to turn that back on and then slowly drizzle in a ½ cup of vegetable oil, and then we'll get to the other good stuff. Okay, so that is good to go for our other ingredients. Of course, we've got to have some dry ingredients, right? I'll put the measurements online. Already in here, I've got some flour, baking soda, salt, and baking powder. And then I have some sour cream. I always love to add sour cream to muffins and cupcakes. I think it just changes the texture so much. It makes it so moist. You're not gonna regret doing that. So I just need a cup. Thankfully, this little container comes in a cup, so I'm going to sort of gradually add each one, dry versus wet, and get it all come together. And then we're gonna, of course, add the star of the show, the blueberries. So let's get this going. Okay, our batter is good to go for these muffins. It looks great. I'm gonna scrape this down a little bit. You wanna get every last drop of it, right? And then we'll add in our blueberries. And you can use frozen blueberries, but I would definitely sort of let them thaw and defrost so they're not too watery. You know how that can happen with the frozen ones? And then we're gonna do a little trick so that your batter doesn't turn completely purple. Have you ever tried to do that when you're cooking with blueberries? And also, you don't want them to sink to the bottom. So I'm sure you've heard of this trick, but you definitely want to make sure that your blueberries are dry. And here they are, in about a cup of them I have. And then you're just gonna add a little sprinkling of flour. And that will help them sort of cling to the batter, and then they will float a little bit. All right, so just gonna sprinkle it in here and get those tossed around. You don't need very much, because you also don't want to add too much flour, because then it changes the portions here in the batter that you've already made. All right, so those should be just fine, good to go. And here's our lovely, lovely batter here. Make sure that it's all combined, and then we're going to fold in the blueberries. And you want to be careful, because again, you don't want to break up the blueberries. I mean, it'll still taste good, it's fine, but it won't look as pretty with the blueberries kind of suspended in there. All right. See how quickly this is coming together? We're almost done. And then you just have to put it in your muffin pan and then top it with streusel. Now, you do not have to add the streusel. You can absolutely just go with the muffins as they are. They'll be great, I promise you. But why not zhuzh them up just a little bit? Because it's so easy to do. You're already gonna have the ingredients on hand, I'm sure. All right, so we've got our muffin pan over here now. Let's talk about our streusel first though. Okay, so in here I just have a ½ stick of butter. It should be cold butter. It's been sitting out a little bit, so it's probably not gonna work as great, but then also I have some flour and some cinnamon in here and some sugar. But you want to get all of the streusel together. In fact, I might switch to my hands, especially because my butter got a little too soft for me. You know, they say your hands are the best tool in the kitchen, right? So, gonna go with this, break it up, and you want it to get sort of really, really crumbly. Now, what you can also add in here, I've done streusel with oats, rolled oats in here. That's great. You can even add some nuts, whatever works for you. Okay, we've got one of these cute little muffin scoopers, cupcake scoopers. You could just use an ice cream scoop or, you know, a little measuring cup, whatever, just to make sure that they're even. That's the way that they will bake much better. But look how cute. So easy, just pop it in here. I'm gonna fill this up, but I wanna show you what we're gonna do. So after you do that, you're just gonna sprinkle on a little streusel, and that's going to melt into the oven, cook and bake into the cupcakes, or the muffins rather. It's gonna be so great. So I have the oven preheated at 400 degrees. I'm just gonna finish doing this and pop it in for 18 to 20 minutes, and there you have it. It was that easy. And these are from scratch with fresh blueberries. So easy, but so good. All right, I'm gonna fish these up. Here we have the blueberry streusel muffins out of the oven. They did stay in there for nearly 20 minutes, and look how much they puffed up. They look so great, they smell so great, and I thought, I gotta see what's inside, right? I gotta see how they turned out, because they're so nice and fluffy. All right, let's see if we can see the blueberries inside. Oh my goodness, take a look at that. I cannot wait to give these a try. I hope you do too. Blueberry streusel muffins, so easy, so yummy. Cheers. Okay, so I love when you share pictures of your own recipes and versions of my recipes. Tara Trenley did that recently when she made my orange chocolate croissant bake. Do you remember that from a couple of weeks ago? She says this one was fresh out of the oven, ready to be topped with powdered sugar and fruit. As you can see here, she decided to go with half chocolate and then half without chocolate for her version
I like
there.
that.
Yeah, so love that. And if you have a recipe or a picture to share with me, please do so. Or maybe you have an idea for a future segment, you can text us at 614-460-3345 or find me on social media.